I do know that in the event if there are weeks or whatever I want to go without doing anything, I need to make sure my maintenance calorie count is on point if I don't want to gain, you know? It's Jazz, Min, Nicole, and welcome to Weight with Jazz, a safe space for the obese, the overweight, those who just want to lose weight, and myself to share our weight journeys and a little bit of my life too. I used to be 284 pounds. I lost 115 pounds 12 years ago. Was still in the obesity category at 175 pounds. So at that time, I chose to pursue Zepbound brand medication to lose the final 40 plus pounds. And now currently on the Tirzepatide compound. I'm currently on a 7.5 Tirzepatide compound. And to date, I have lost that 45 pounds actually, that last 45 pounds. So my weight loss, my complete weight loss is done, but weight management is not. So I am now in the maintenance phase. I am on the split dose of 7.5 Tirzepatide compound. So I split the 7.5 to a 3.75 milligram compound, and that's the dose that I'm currently under as maintenance. So the last video, I made a wonderful announcement that I have reached the maintenance weight of 130 pounds. So I went from 284 pounds to 175, then from 175 to 130 pounds, taking GLP1 medication. My feelings right now, this is like the first official video of being in maintenance. Like now I'm really in the mindset of maintenance and I'm really excited. But I also want to make sure that I approach this properly with a full understanding of what maintenance means and how to get a handle on it. Because what often happens from what I viewed, that when people do come up upon maintenance, sometimes they cannot get a proper handle on maintenance and they continue to lose weight while on maintenance. That's not what I want to do. I don't want to continue to lose weight on maintenance. I want to maintain on maintenance. So to make sure that you do that successfully, you have to make sure that you increase your calorie intake in accordance to your weight. So you go in a calorie surplus. You're no longer in a calorie deficit. You need to increase your calorie intake. And there's many tools available online that helps you calculate your maintenance calories. So my maintenance calories, according to the level of exercise I put in, I got a few estimates. I got estimates for little to no exercise. Got an estimate for moderate exercise 1 to 2 times a week. And they got an estimate for 3+ days of working out. So, you know, more intense or more heavier workout days. And that's obviously going to be higher calorie count. Where I'm feeling comfortable with is the moderate, because I do exercise. I mean, at least 2 times a week. Sometimes I try, I push more than that. So, but for now, let me just start with the moderate level as I'm trying to slowly introduce myself into this maintenance process. And once I get fully grounded, then I may be able to increase it to the higher level of 2,000 calories to maintain my 130 calories based on me working out, several plus times a week. So it's, your calorie consumption also is based on how much physical activity you put in it. So to maintain my weight at a moderate exercise level, my numbers are, close to 1,800. So I'm gonna round it off to 1,800. It's about 17 something. So about 1,800 calories I'm going to do something different this time too, because within a calorie surplus, honestly, you're going to need carbs. I've been carb cycling for a while. I've been in this keto cycle phase since I've been on this medication. First time I've ever even got into the low carb thing, okay? Low carb thing, or the extreme low carb, which is keto. But I think that definitely did have a major role in the pounds down on this medication at the rate it was coming off. Was because I had all these systems in place. You know, I was hitting low carb at the same time, you know, hitting low carb, and then I also was fasting. So that was another tool that kind of ignited the weight loss even more, in addition to the medication of suppression. So suppression of the food noise and suppression of the actual appetite. So I made the decision that I have to reintroduce carbs into my daily intake. I mean, I was already, dealing with carbs, but I was cycling them, and I was extremely limiting them on days. But now I feel like I could kind of be at a stabilized level of intaking a certain amount of complex carbs daily. Not overdoing it, but complex carbs, which also include protein. That will add to my protein count as well. Because when you're in a surplus and you are maintaining, protein plays an important role. Carbs still play a role when you're trying to sustain calories. See, carbs kind of stretch you over into calories. Sometimes you cannot hit your calorie count with protein only. This is just my opinion and from my experience. So it's difficult to hit the calorie with just protein only. I'm not a meat eater. I'm a plant-based pescatarian. Before then, I was a vegan. Then I went to vegetarian. But when I took this medication, I went in the pescatarian route just so I can expand my protein options more. When you are a vegetarian, or even vegan, your protein is limited to an extent. You know, you get a plant-based variety of proteins, but sometimes that just can be limited, especially if you have allergies to nuts, and you're gluten-free, all this stuff. It's a lot to it. And I found myself finding it difficult to meet a protein count on this medication by remaining just vegetarian. Even though I consume milk, dairy, it's better for my digestive system to pretty much omit meat. That's just for me. I'm not recommending it for any of you. Eat according to your eating preference. There's nothing wrong with being a meat eater. I was one. I just chose according to my experience, my body preference, my digestion preference, that being meatless is a better lifestyle for me. A major reason why I stopped eating meat years ago is because of digestion issues. I can't digest meat. Most of the time I can't. Over a period, I realized that it is better for my digestive system to pretty much omit meat. That's just for me. I'm not recommending it for any of you. Eat according to your eating preference. There's nothing wrong with being a meat eater. I was one. I just chose according to my experience, my body preference, my digestion preference, that being meatless is a better lifestyle for me. But do I sometimes wish I was a meat eater? Yes, sometimes when I'm seeing people eating certain foods I used to eat. I'm like, man, I remember I used to go in on that. But just memories, going down memory lane. Nothing that really strikes or triggers a real hard need or want to go back into eating meat. Let's just say that. I don't miss it at all. Honestly, don't think that I was a fan of it from the beginning, but we grow up learning to eat a certain way. So I grew up eating meat because that's what I was fed. We're conditioned, we're taught whatever we're taught as literature for what we need to know and retain. We're taught how to eat too based on our parents. So the eating lifestyle was meat in the house. That's what we ate meat. Everything else we ate meat. So that's what I grew accustomed to. Didn't realize that I really wasn't going to be a meat eater down the line in my future of being an adult. That it was not really sitting well with me. But you know, you learn later on down the line. That's what this thing called life is. Back to the maintenance plan. So with little to no workout, that was giving me about, my maintenance calories according to 130 pounds was giving me about a little over 1,500 calories. So I would need to manage, you know, maybe over a little, maybe 1,550 or so calories a day to sustain this weight if I choose not to ever exercise. If I choose to never exercise, really, I could sustain this. And that's a great option to have. When, you know, I know I'm going to do something. But I do know that in the event if there are weeks or whatever I want to go without doing anything, that I need to know I need to make sure my maintenance calorie count is on point if I don't want to gain. You know? Not that, you know, I can't lose it right away and with exercise and then part of it being water retention and all that, but just in the idea of maintaining maintenance, I would want to just stick to the calorie. So going into the next level, the moderate level, the level that I chose, just staying at a moderate level and just weight training, the once or twice a week would put me at about 1,700 or so around 1,800 calories. I just rounded it to 18 calories. I think it was like 1,760 something or whatever. So I'll round that to 1,800 calories. I'm good with that, the 1,800 calories. I'm thinking about keeping my carbs at 100 carbs. I can manage that. I could try to manage that in a day. That will contribute to the calorie count too, because it's harder to hit the calorie count without carbs, in my experience. Excuse me. Carbs have some of the protein in there, and then it has the calories. So I got the 100 grams of carbs. The protein is I'm gonna try to hit 50 to 80. I'm gonna try to hit 80. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but if I don't, that's okay. As long as I'm minimum 50 grams. That's it. As long as I'm hitting the minimum. And then about 30 to 90 grams of fat daily. I'm not gonna hit the high fat end. Mine's probably gonna be the moderate level of fat, but between 30 grams and 90 grams of fat to balance out the overall maintenance bit. And that's at the moderate level exercising. At the high intensity level exercising, which is more than 3 times a week, we're looking at about 2,020 calories to maintain 130 pounds. So I'm gonna go with the one right in the middle, the moderate. 1,800 calories daily to maintain my 130 calories. And we're gonna see how it goes as I'm gradually going into this. Remember, I'm in body recompositioning. So at a point, I'm probably going to end up getting to that last category for maintenance at 2,000 calories. I'll end up getting to that as I'm trying to build a little bit more in different areas. You build in the body, build in the butt, building more chest. You get what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to eat more, but just eat moderately and eat the right things. And that's why I don't want to make the mistake either. People think when you say surplus, I've been making this, I can eat. Woo, let's celebrate. I'm good. You can easily gain 5 or 10 pounds like that. And it can be the wrong 5 or 10 pounds by the wrong type of food. So I want to make sure I'm hitting my carbs. I'm hitting complex carbs, not simple carbs. Not the refined carbs If I have refined carbs, just have them, you know, moderately, sparingly. But the real carbs I'm hitting is the potato, the regular potato, the sweet potato, the carbs that are in vegetables, the carbs that are in fruit, which also include fiber. And also, for me, marginal whole grain, you know, whole wheat or whatnot. Marginal, I don't go crazy with that because I, you know, just not going to be a crazy bread eater. Still can retain. But it's better to do those rather than just the other types of breads because there's more fiber induced into this bread. It'll keep you satiated longer, all that stuff. So, and it does better for the body as far as digestion. As far as my digestion, I know I'm speaking openly, but specifically me, my digestion, those food components work. And that's what I'm going to be targeting. And I'm going to be monitoring this weekly. Just because I'm in maintenance, it's not like, oh, drop everything, let's go. You know, get it and do your own thing and be loose and eat now. Yes, eat, but I'm going to eat in moderation. I'm going to eat in a moderate surplus, and I'm going to eat the right foods. Because this is still a learning experience, not just on how to stay focused and moderately lose weight and keep it off, but also what foods to eat that makes things less difficult for you, that helps you continue to maintain your weight. The foods you eat, not feeling like you're restricting everything. So I'm saying I'm not restricting carbs. I'm not going to have a maintenance life of constant macro restriction. That's not my ideal of living. Okay? I had to go through a certain level of restriction to get to this stage, to get to this level of weight loss of 130 pounds. Now, I'm going to slowly reintroduce the right foods in, just at a higher calorie count. That's all. And you know, this is like super important because we really think once we reach a goal, that's it. Often, once we reach a goal, especially when it comes to weight loss, it's like, yes, I lost it. No matter what type of system we use to get there. I mean, there's tons of diets. Like, that's one thing, folks can lose weight. That's not the issue. You pick a diet, cherry pick one, blindfolded, okay? And you can lose weight. But it's about keeping it off successfully for years. Feeling comfortable and not feeling restricted within your lifestyle, within your lifestyle diet. I don't want to feel restricted all the time. I'm always going to be calorie cognizant because I'm maintenancing, right? And I'm going to be carb cognizant as far as the type of carbs I'm eating. And the volume of it too as well. You still just have, you can't just completely be thoughtless when it comes to eating like we want. I think that's the thing people are constantly chasing. The concept of eating whatever you want, being intuitive, being thoughtless, being free, a freedom eater, and just looking the way you want, maintaining your weight at the same time. That's what everybody is chasing. How can I eat what I want, be a freedom eater, and have food being a thoughtless act, but still maintain my weight or lose weight for some. Because some people want to have those privileges, water losing weight without type of restriction. Look, to lose, you have to restrict. That's the deficit required. Scientifically, you just have to restrict with the deficit, however you look at it. for it to happen. Maintenance, on the other hand, play around up and down. But just because you're in maintenance is not over. You still need to have a thought process. And people don't get discouraged because you still have to think. Food for thought. You still have to think about the food you're taking in on a daily basis. When we stop thinking about it, I feel like that's when things start to get loose. We start to get out of control a little bit, when it stops being a thought. It needs to remain a thought. Just don't be obsessive with it. Don't let the thought monopolize your mentality, start making you trip and all that. Give you anxiety and just make you feel overwhelmed. You just want to stop everything. No. Just take it easy and make it simple. We overcomplicate a lot. So even when it comes to weight loss, sometimes just overcomplicating with too many systems, too many ideas, too many ways of eating. It's weight maintenance can be the same, but it really doesn't have to. Just be simple. Cut, dry, and easy. Increase your calorie count appropriately according to your weight. Do the calculation and keep a mental calculator. Even if you're not writing things down, just keep a mental calculator daily what you put in your mouth. This is easy for me to do because I don't eat that many times a day. This is one of the reasons why I don't. Because I'm not trying to mentally log all of that data. I'm not trying to physically log all of the data all the time. That's why I don't log my food all the time. I try to keep it in here. I eat twice a day, especially now on here. Yeah, twice a day. That's another thing, 2MAD. So I'm switching from OMAD to 2MAD. It's going to be a little different though. I know typically folks, they eat in the morning. If they, choose to fast, they may fast during the day and then they eat dinner, right? Do you? That's fine. Do you? Whatever works for you. Is one thing about fasting and just weight management in general, weight loss in general. Like, you can customize things to work for you. So, for me, and this has been a long time thing, I'm a late night eater. I'm not saying I'm a buffet eater at late night. I'm a gorger or binger at night. No, I just like to eat at night. So after I eat my meal, my dinner, probably a few hours after that, or I wake up in the middle of the night or 11-ish or something like that, and I can't go back to sleep, I'll typically probably read or do some YouTubing, but I will have a late night snack. That is what I'm incorporating into my 2 meal a day. I'm counting that. What I eat at night, and I'm not caring about it being at night, because that's not making a difference on me maintaining a weight. Me eating it at 11 o'clock or midnight is not going to make a difference in me maintaining my weight, as long as I'm in my maintenance calories. Everything is a numbers game. We have kind of spent conceptual theories on certain things, like, oh, don't eat after 7. If you do, horrible digestion, you're not going to lose weight, or you're not going to maintain weight. I'll say if you have digestive issues, I understand, don't eat past that because you wanted to digest. But if my main meal is fully digested, my second meal is kind of like a snack. It's like a Hot Pocket, a half a sandwich with some chips on the side. Y'all know the late night type of snacks you want. For me, it's more savory. It's not like the ice cream, although I could have that, but it's not that. It's the savory. So I'm usually wanting something to snack on, some rice cakes, or another form of a protein. I have a vegan dog or something. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Small, quaint, nothing that exceeds too many calories, but can be labeled technically as a little meal. So that's what I do. So I can have my enjoyment. I don't like eating in the morning. I fast. That's just my thing. I fast in the morning. You got to do what works for you. That works well with my body. I fast and I drink my tea. And I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. And then towards the late afternoon, I'm ready to eat dinner. Also, I can drink protein, beforehand. I'll drink the liquid calorie rather than eat it. That's just me. So if I want to hit a protein situation, right? I didn't know that was moving yet. If I want a protein situation, I'll drink a protein shake or protein water in the morning or something like that, or, the mid-afternoon I'll have a protein shake, protein water, or maybe even a protein bar. But I'm not eating a full meal, even in this maintenance. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going to incorporate that last meal of the day. Not that late night meal. I'm going to incorporate that late night meal as my real final last meal of the day. So I'll be too mad and I still feel like I'm having my little fix. Whether it's a sweet fix or a savory fix, I have that little extra snack meal that I'm counting as my too mad. Things to make my life feel better, I'm, like I said, I'm on this maintenance thing, but I want to live. I want to continue to try to enjoy what I do have and not just center this completely around weight and restriction. I've done the hard work. We've done the hard work, folks. Now you can lax a little bit, but just not too much. I want to lax and have my enjoyments, but I just want to have them moderately, and I want to keep a mental count of what I'm consuming. And that's how I have to move forward. And I'm going to keep you guys updated as I'm doing it. To keep, not just for y'all, but to keep me accountable. This is like extra motivational accountability for me. It keeps me have to deliver something, having to show up with something. So that's where I'm at now, y'all. Feeling slim. I am feeling slim, okay? And people are noticing. And that's another video on how I do not divulge what I do to lose weight. How I do not divulge GLP1 medication as a method to my weight loss. We're going to get into that in another video. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, y'all. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Let's get this going, and then from there, of course, but let's get this in. This is some content that we all need. I love engaging. Drop in the comments. Let me know where your journey is so far. What's going on? Whether you're in the beginning or you're in the end, whatever. I love to hear. I love to see. I love to see progress. And I also love to see us educating each other within our weaknesses and failures. I'm going to get at you the next video. Be real.